Guys, just give me a moment. I'm figuring it out. All right, guys, we're gonna have 1 minute. Dang, already? Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and get started. It's been a hot minute since I did this lesson. Isn't it, guys? It's been a hot minute. Alrighty, guys. So you guys know Miss Taylor is not here today. She's gonna be out today and tomorrow. So you're stuck with me. Stuck with me, guys. All right. So before we get into our unique, let's go over to our Lord, what just happened? Let's go over to our stuff so we can see what we're doing today. And in order to do that, I need to get my planner out. Haven't done that. So we're starting the day off with our live lesson. How exciting. And then for unique today, we're starting a new chapter. Let me get a planner out so I can tell you guys all about what we're doing today, because I forgot about that. I'm telling you guys, I've been rusty. All right. So today we are going to be reading about, it's chapter 5 called The War Continues. So we're going to be learning about a lot of different battles of the Revolutionary War. And so for our small reading groups, can you raise your hand if you're in PCI 1? Are you paying attention if you're in PCI 1? Thank you. So you are still reading A Warm Home, and your word today is only. You say only?
Only.
Only. Yeah. Do you know how to spell only?
O-N-L-Y.
O-N-L-Y. That's right. Very good. And if you're in PCI 2, give me a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Very good. You're reading The New Dog, and your words for today are day and thing. Sammy, can you spell day?
Days.
How you spell it?
Right.
D.
D. A. Y.
There you go. D-A-Y. Day.
D-A-Y.
Very good. And then if you, after the video, and then if you are in that third group, raise your hand. Fist bump or pound it. No? No one? There you go. I watched Jersey Shore last night. Reminds me of the fist bump they do. You guys are reading, finishing up that Act 1 of Macbeth. So that's it for our small reading groups. Moving down to our news to you. Who can tell me what our article is this week? Anyone from Miss Robin's class in there? What are we reading about this week? Super Bowl. I think I heard. Yeah, we're reading about Super Bowl. And so today we're doing some more extension activities. Actually, it's reverse of what we did yesterday. So if you did the MVP yesterday, you're doing Super Bowl. Long story short, we're learning about Super Bowl today. Are y'all enjoying that football? That's stuff you guys like.
No.
No. Well, then let me know what you want to learn about, and I can maybe provide you with something.
Okay.
Next week, if you're, dying to know, next week we're learning about birds. Maybe that will interest you more.
That's interesting.
Okay, well, thank you for being honest. I appreciate that. All righty. So that's it for reading. Miss Robin, you're getting Miss Robin at 10:20, so get excited for that. And for Unique today for math, we were talking about adding $3 amounts. So yesterday we were adding 2 amounts to $5. Today we're adding 3 different values. Sound cool?
Yeah.
Cool. And then for Explore Math, we're doing visiting friends. I think I said that yesterday and I messed up because I keep wanting it to be Friday so bad. And News to You Math, we are doing word problems, some adding. And then social lesson today, I believe we are finishing up the chapter on my boyfriend, learning about those relationships.
Really, Miss Joyner?
Really? I know. Well, today's the last day you have to do it. So hope you don't get too upset about it. Tomorrow will be a fun read aloud on the Tease Monster book. So that'll be fun. Anyone have any questions about what we're doing today? You ready to get started?
I'm ready to get started.
You ready to get started?
Yeah.
Ready to get started? Sammy? Ready to get started?
Yes.
Is that a name? Whoops. Okay. All right. Let me roll on over to our vocabulary word today. I have way too many things open. Here we go. All righty. So today our vocabulary word is battle. Can someone read the definition for battle for me? Our friend at home?
Battle.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Can you read it for me?
Argue with a word or by hitting or using weapon.
Very good. So a battle is when 2 groups argue with words or by hitting or using weapons. Is that something we should do at school? Battle?
No.
No, probably not. Probably better to compromise. right? Where we come to an agreement. Probably shouldn't be battling at school, but we're learning about wars, and in wars we battle. So what kind of word is battle? Is it a noun, a verb, or an adjective? Look at that word, battle.
It's a verb.
Yeah, can you, someone from Miss Robin's room, can you, the sound went a little out. If someone could tell us.
Verb.
A verb. So I feel like battle is one of those weird words where it just kind of depends on how you use it. Because battle, when we're talking, oh look, I bet Miss Robin's in the chat about to really tell me because she's the English person. Noun or verb, yes. So if we're talking about a battle, if we use it as in, I'm gonna battle my enemy, that's a verb. But then if we say, the battle, what's the word? One of the battles I'm reading about today.
Lexington. Yeah.
There you go. The Battle of Lexington was a huge war fought at one time. Then it's a noun. So it could be either one.
Right.
We're making it tricky today. So I'm going to highlight both. Because some words can be both. Would anyone like to use it in a sentence? I just kind of gave you two examples. The word battle.
The battle was fierce.
The battle was
Fierce.
fierce. Ooh, I like that word, Miss Robin. The battle was fierce. What a great adjective. Anyone else like to use it in a sentence?
When soldiers
Say one of the soldiers. It was a good sentence. Said the soldiers.
I'm like the soldiers have that.
Soldiers have the soldiers fight in battles.
Yeah.
That's a great sentence. So one of my friends in here said, the soldiers fight in battles. Someone in the chat bar. Oh, okay. Whoops, forgot to be in battle. All right, anyone else like to give it a try? Maybe try to use it as a verb. An action word. You gonna try to use it as an action word?
When the soldiers fight, it's called
It's called a battle.
soldier battle.
Okay, so let's think about it. So we're gonna use it like a verb. It's kind of, we could use it instead of fight. So we could say the battle, or the, hold on, I had a good train of thought, guys.
You say we battle, Miss Joyner.
What'd you say, Miss Robin?
You can say we battle, like we battle against our fears or something like that.
We battle. That's a verb. We battle. Easy as that. Did you have an example you wanted to share? No. Ooh, I'm typing that one. Y'all, Mr. Parrish has gave me a duel. He wants to duel. So he said, Miss Joyner and Mr. Parrish. will, ooh, I cannot spell today, will battle in the parking lot after school.
Ooh, sounds like a challenge.
We'll take bets after the video. We'll take bets. That's awesome. All righty, guys. So just for a little bit of fun today, I have a little video about the Declaration of Independence because some of this stuff can just be kind of boring. So I thought it'd be fun to watch a little video.
Only pay
After
for what
it
you need
has.
with Liberty Mutual. And
Oh,
Woo!
it was a
Adopted
short one.
mind now. Come explore the site with me. I'm in first grade, so I'll take that.
Hi, TJ here, aka Thomas Jefferson. It's 1776, and we're at the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia. It's June, and it's a hot one here. We're a bit more productive in the Second Continental Congress. First, we have all 13 colonies attending this time. In the First Continental Congress in 1774, only 12 colonies attended. It happened that our good friends in Georgia got cold feet and decided not to attend and risk upsetting King George. A bit wimpy, if you ask me. One big thing we managed to achieve at the Second Continental Congress is that we created the first and only Continental Army. Quite an achievement, given that our militias to date had been a hodgepodge of ordinary folk and farmers. And we elected George Washington to head up the Continental Army. Yeah, that's him over there. Great guy, a lot of fun at the tavern. He likes to be called the General. You might have heard we're ready to declare our independence from King George, so we thought it was time to put all this down on paper. So Congress appointed a 5-person committee to draft the Declaration of Independence. I was hoping Ben Franklin, that's him over there, would take up this assignment. Turns out that I have to write it, and I only have a couple of weeks. Yikes! So before I start drafting the Declaration of Independence, let's reflect a bit how we got here. More specifically, let's discuss King George's crazy taxation policies. George was big time in debt after the 7 Years' War. He figured that the colonists should pay him back for the British support in the French and Indian War. In 1765, the British Parliament passed the Stamp Act. No, not postal stamps, but it was a tax on everyday paper that we had to buy from Britain. Additional taxes via the Townshend Acts of 1767 were imposed on paint, glass, lead, and tea. George just loved shoving these taxes down our throats. We weren't going to take it for much longer. Needless to say, discontent spread throughout the colonies. So King George sent in the Redcoats in 1768 to force the colonists to pay up. Things got even more heated on a chilly morning in March 1770, when a group of Bostonians confronted the British soldiers by first calling them names like lobsters and bloody backs. Well, the Brits didn't take too kindly to those insults and opened fire on the Bostonians, killing 5 of them. Oh, by the way, John Adams, yeah, that's him again over there, defended the British soldiers in court. Typical Adams. The last straw was in 1773. King George threw the tea tax our way. Now, let me get this straight. He already taxed tea in 1767. Now he gave the tea monopoly in the colonies to one of his crony companies, the East India Company. So in December of 1773, a friendly group of Bostonians, many of them tea traders, threw a party of sorts. These guys, after a few drinks at the local tavern, dressed up as Indians, raided a few of the ships in the harbor, and managed to destroy over 300 crates of tea. Oh boy, that set King George off big time. King George closed the Boston harbor, and that really infuriated all the colonies. What's amazing is that during all this, we colonists never had a say or any voting powers in the British Parliament. That's taxation without representation if I've ever seen it. Well, after the Boston Tea Party, things got worse between the colonists and the British soldiers. Stay tuned for more in our next video.
All righty. Just a quick little review, some stuff we talked about. So let's go over to our book. We ready to read? Read our chapter? I know y'all are ready to read at home. Okay. Let me fix my screen for y'all. What's the title of this chapter?
The war counted.
The war continues. Very good. What war are we talking about? Starts with an R.
Revolutionary.
Revolution.
Evolutionary. I heard lots of people talking about it. All right.
The Declaration of Independence said the colonies were a new country. The Americans now had a lot of work to do. They still had to fight the British to win the American Revolutionary War and their freedom. Many big battles were fought over the next 5 years. The Americans were smart and came up with sneaky ways to win.
So the Americans were sneaky in their battles. And so that's what we're going to read about in our chapter. Some sneaky ways to win.
The Battle of Trenton took place on Christmas night and the morning after. General Washington led his soldiers to Trenton, New Jersey. The king's soldiers were there to fight, but the soldiers were celebrating instead. General Washington waited until the morning after Christmas to attack. The Americans won this battle.
So who won the battle? Sammy.
American.
Americans.
Heard it. The Americans won the battle. And what battle? What was it called? The Battle of
Trenton.
I heard someone say it.
Battle of Trenton.
Battle of Trenton. Very good. And where was the Battle of Trenton fought?
Christmas night.
That is when. That was my next question. When was Christmas night, but where? Where was it fought?
New Jersey.
New Jersey, very good. So where is Trenton, New Jersey? When is Christmas night? And the Americans won.
General Washington led his soldiers to Princeton. The American soldiers acted like they were camping by their campfires. Early in the morning, they snuck around behind the British soldiers. They attacked and won another battle.
So then George Washington led his soldiers to Princeton, and they acted like they were camping by their campfires. But what did they do the next morning? How are they sneaky? What did they do? So then they snuck around the British soldiers and they attacked. They're trying to be tricky and act like they just camping by their campfires. They snuck behind them and won the battle. Americans winning again. This one's a close one to me because y'all know how I spend summers in New York.
Miss Jordan, you have a volunteer to read.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Go ahead and read this next page for me.
The Battle of
Saratoga.
Saratoga was one of the most important battles of the war. The British soldiers were trying to get through the forts in New York, and American soldiers chopped trees to slow down the British soldiers. The American soldiers I don't know that word.
Surrounded.
surrounded the British soldiers when and when other battles.
Very good. So Saratoga is where I go here in New York. So I always hear about Battle of Saratoga. So this is a funny one to me. So to win, they chopped down a bunch of trees to slow down the British soldiers. So I feel like it's like a video game. You're running around, dropping stuff, dropping the trees, chopping them down, so then they have to run and jump all over them. I picture it like a video game. They were being sneaky so they could get ahead. And so, did the Americans win or the British win?
The British.
What?
Americans.
Americans won. Americans won again. This was a very important battle of the war. It was really important. And where did it take place? What state? New York. Very good. Y'all ever want to know about Saratoga? I can tell you all about it. Lots of fun stuff there. Would my volunteer like to read again?
I would like to have a try.
Oh, sure. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
The American Army had a very winter in 1717. It was very cold and icy. The soldiers at Vela, Verler
Valley,
Valley Frog didn't have
Enough.
throw
Enough supplies.
through supplies. They needed colonists,
clothes,
clothes, drinks, shoes, and food. Over 2,000 soldiers that needed when that soldiers didn't
died.
fight that winter.
Very good. Thank you for volunteering to read. So over 2,000 soldiers died that winter. What year are we talking about? 17.
1777.
Very good. 1777. And so it was very cold and dry. So what kind of supplies did those soldiers need?
Food,
They needed food. Yes.
supplies,
Mm-hmm.
clothes,
Clothes. Yep. Tell me one. Blankets. Shoes. Very good. So they needed a lot of supplies and they did not have enough. So unfortunately, we had a lot of soldiers die that winter. All right, so our first volunteer is going to read one more time. Go ahead, young lady.
Great British made many other con- continents
Country.
mad countries mad before the
Revolutionary.
Revolution War because of this other con- countries offered
Mhm.
to help the Americans, French, Spain, and I don't know that word.
Holland.
college sent soldiers and supplies to help the American army.
Very good. So before the war, Great Britain was not being a good friend to other countries. So do you think those other countries were going to help Great Britain? They weren't being a good friend? Definitely not. They were going to help America. So who were some of the countries that helped Americans during the war? They listed 3 here. Anyone tell me one of them?
The help French, Spain,
Spain
Holland.
and
France, Spain, and Holland were some of the countries that helped send American supplies because they were all for helping those Americans get free of Great Britain. All right.
Life as a soldier was hard, and life as an American was hard. Women and children had to do jobs for the men who were away fighting in the war. They also helped make clothing for soldiers. Some women became messengers, nurses, or spies for the army. Some Americans did not agree with the war. They wanted the king to be in charge. They did not fight with the American soldiers.
So there's always going to be some people who disagree, right? Not everyone can get along. So some Americans didn't agree with the war and they wanted the king to stay in charge. But obviously most of Americans wanted to be free. So we continued with it. And the women started to help out by making clothes and became messengers and nurses to help out any way they could. So here's a little timeline. Can anyone read what happened first on our timeline?
December 17th. The Americans win the Battle of Trenton.
Trenton, very good. So we read about that first, the Battle of Trenton.
The battle.
We talked about the Battle of Princeton, and then the Battle of Saratoga, and then what happened in that really cold winter, December 1776? Can you tell me, friend? When it was cold?
The winter and valley fog was very hard for the Americans.
And so we lost a lot of soldiers that year. So that was the last thing that happened that we talked about today. So tomorrow we'll read the chapter again and go over some comprehension questions. You'll be stuck again with me. Sorry, my lesson lasted a bit longer. I'm a little bit more talkative than Miss Taylor. The longer she practices, the longer she'll get at it. Alrighty, guys. So we're going to move on from here. You can skip uni because we have gone well over it today and jump right into your reading groups, okay? Thank you guys all for listening and joining in. We got to go do lunches. Ivy.
Great job.
From reading from home, I loved it. Beth and Richard, thank you so much for participating in the chat bar. I loved it. Very good.
Good job, Angel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.